Hi, and welcome back to the Night Night Show. I'm Billy Maddox, and we are here with special guest, documentarian, director, jack of all trades in film industry, Ben Steinbauer. Welcome to the show, Ben.
Thanks, Will. Good to be here.
How are you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for asking.
Yeah.
A little moist. It's
a little moist,
outside,
a little rainy. You had a coffee incident. What happened? What happened with the coffee? That's really what I want to know.
The coffee incident. Well, I'll make it short. I was coming in, and this guy, bless his heart, was opening the door for me. I had my umbrella. I was shaking off the rain, and this guy was trying to do me a favor and open the door, but I had my coffee on the railing, the handicap railing of the door. Little did he know. Did me a favor.
Oh.
Also, totally hosed me at the same time.
Screwed you over. That's so.
It ended up just sort of being neutral. It was like he did a nice thing, and then he did a really bad thing, and then it was just like we should have just avoided the whole incident.
Bad karma.
It's just neutral karma. I don't know if that's good or bad.
It's vice versa.
Yeah.
So did this not a short documentary, but not a full length, called The Next Tim Day.
Right. It's a half hour.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay. It's about a guy who was addicted, or not addicted, he was arrested for selling crack. And he lives in Galveston and is from the projects down there. And I'd lived there for a little while in high school, and so when I met him, I knew how bad the area was that he was coming from.
Yeah.
And the way I met him is I was going to work one day out at the Austin studios, and he was parked in his car. Right, there's a key box that you have to punch in a code, and then the gate opens. He was parked in a bright yellow Mustang with really loud hip-hop music blaring out of it, and he was flagging down every car going into the studios.
Yeah.
So I was one of those, and I rolled my window down, and the very first thing he said to me was, he said, "Yo, man, where's Robert Rodriguez at?" And I just was like, I was sort of paused, and I was like, well, he's not here.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. And so we just started talking, and he gave me his first copy of the show he makes called Hood News.
Yeah.
And basically the story is that he was in prison for selling drugs, read a bunch of do-it-yourself filmmaking books, one of which was Robert Rodriguez's Rebel Without a Crew. Gets out of prison, buys a camera, starts making a reality TV show about the projects and drug dealers that he used to hang out with and where it came from. It becomes regionally pretty successful, and he becomes this local celebrity who starts going around to film festivals, starting with Sundance in Park City, Utah, and sort of hawking this DVD, like selling it out of the back of his truck or giving it away. And
at the film festival.
At the film
with
festival.
All these celebrities.
Yeah, and he meets the best one is Crispin Glover. He meets and interviews Crispin Glover, and he's just kind of a PR monster. He's out there promoting himself, and so he goes to the BET Awards. He is, on the red carpets meeting celebrities, and then ultimately he comes here to UT and meets Robert Rodriguez, who's giving a presentation, and gives him a copy of the DVD and says, "Thanks for inspiring me."
So you also teach at UT.
I do.
And you're not just a normal teacher. You're a lecturer, and you're an award-winning lecturer at that.
Well, right, but. It's funny that you put it there. You're not just a normal teacher, because you're not. When you're a lecturer, you're sort of like the lowest person.
I've seen your office, Ben.
Actually, my office is kind of sweet by most other TA standards, which is hard to believe. Yeah, everybody else has like a garage or something like that, like a lean-to,
a basement under their mom's garage.
Right, a tarp or something.
All right. Well, so you get respect there. I mean, I've met a lot of people who have taken your classes, and you've actually, I don't know if you know this, but a lot of the female student body, consider you pretty high up on the teacher bangability factor. I'm going to go ahead and say.
Wow.
Which is pretty impressive. But
wow. Yeah, I never thought of it quite that way. But I also don't have a lot of competition. I mean, who am I against, really?
40-year-old men?
Yeah, there's a lot of,
But they're the ones who want to cheat on your wife, so you're just in a new relationship, so I guess
that's true. That's true.
He's off the market, ladies. Okay, you're working on a feature now, Winnebago Man.
Yep.
And
my first feature.
We're going to show a clip. Let's go ahead and roll that clip.
What does the line say, Tony? What is the line? I don't give a what the line is. I f***ed up the word rear. I can't even read the f***ing VO straight. I gotta read it again because my mind is just a piece of this morning.
All right, so that was a kind of an idea of where you're jumping off from. That's your jumping off point. That
yeah. It takes some explanation because what you've just seen is the raw material that the documentary is based upon. So that I didn't shoot any of that. That's a sort of a YouTube viral video phenomenon, and it's been around for. Yeah, I sound so stupid saying it's a viral video phenomenon, everybody. What it is it's a video that's been around for 20 years, and it has this cult following, especially in the film business for obvious reasons. It's the bloopers of a film shoot, and people quote that on set all the time, and so it's got this really intense, devoted following. But the thing about it is that nobody knows who he is or the circumstances of how it was made or any of that. The movie is kind of about the phenomenon of that. So, and I trace, I sort of do like an introduction to this is what these videos are, like the Star Wars kid and things that are like sort of come to define what these videos mean and how we watch things on YouTube. And because it's hard to, or it's easy to forget that YouTube is 3 years old. And it's like, YouTube came out in 2005. I traced my copy, which I got on VHS tape, because this was heavily traded, and it was like a big, sort of...
There was a black market for these tapes.
Well, it's true. It's like your AV film nerd buddy would give you a copy of that, or would show that to you, and if you were cool, he would give you your own copy. And so it was kind of this cult thing where, like, if you were at a party and you wanted everybody to laugh or whatever, and, after a few drinks, you pop that on, and... you're like the star of the party or whatever. And
Play the video again.
Exactly. And so it's been around for 20 years. And so what I did after looking at this phenomenon and figuring out that because there are all these crazy stories about it. Like there's a painting of the Winnebago Man as Shrek that hangs in the lobby of DreamWorks in Hollywood. Spike Jonze gave 1 year before YouTube and all that. He gave he got 100 VHS copies of the tape made, individually wrapped all of them, and gave them out as Christmas presents. They used to watch it on the set of The Sopranos when they were taping it. I mean, there's like all these stories about that clip that are pretty impressive.
So how do you find these people who you talk to in the documentary?
Well, I just started. It's like a detective story. Like I took my VHS tape and I traced where I got it, and I traced where he got it, and so on and so on.
Two friends.
Exactly. And so before you know it, I'm talking to the guy who's directing the next Shrek film about the painting he has in his office.
Oh my gosh.
I'm still trying to get an interview with Spike Jonze, and we're getting close, and hopefully that'll happen. The mystery deepens more and more, so to speak. And so eventually I can't find the guy, and I end up hiring a private investigator.
No.
Yeah. Who...
Is his name like Bruce Channing or something ridiculous?
No. It's Jack Rebney is his name.
Oh, that's pretty cool, too.
Yeah, it's a good one. And he has, and it's hard to find, the private eye has a hard time finding him, and he gives me like an outdated P.O. box address.
Oh my gosh.
So I write the guy a letter, and to make a short story long, he writes me back, and so the movie is about me finding him, and then what happens once I find him, and how he deals with his cult stardom.
Oh,
so.
that's pretty incredible. That's about all we have time to talk about. You can find out more about this at
bensteinbauer.com, or I have a bunch of websites, thebearmedia.com, thenexttimday.com, and then this is going to be the Winnebago Man.com.
All right, or you can also find the Winnebago video that we showed on YouTube if you're interested. Thanks so much, Ben.
Of course. Sorry I was so long-winded.
No worries.
I hope that didn't lower me on the bangability scale or whatever.
That's all we got time for tonight. Join us next week if you please. It's the Night Night Show signing off. We'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.